talk about signs and things. So some of the symptoms that they show. It talks about some of the underlying causes, and it talks about investigation and treatment as well. So I hope there's going to be some useful information in here for you to have a read about, okay? Now, as far as I've also printed out something about feline idiopathic cystitis, and what that means is idiopathic means we don't know what's caused it. Obviously, cystitis is inflammation in the bladder. And I think that I think this has also got lots of helpful information as well. So I want you to have a read about this as well, okay? I think both of these apply to your boy. All right, then I have also printed these two. One about aggression between cats, because him and Bear didn't get on. So I hope there might be some things there that might help you to understand why and what something you might be able to do at home to help.
But why do sometimes it's like, let me see the situation. Magic would. He might be on the seat beside me. He suddenly gets off, gets on the floor, and then Bear just gets down, and then he walks up, and then both of them licking each other. I don't get that behaviour, and then suddenly sometimes it's the opposite, and then one gets down and it's up and it's wow.
I think trying to understand it can be really difficult. I think sometimes you can't work out what's going on in their head.
Come on, you saw how I was behaving the other day. I was emotional, I was upset.
And exactly, and so it happens with them as well. I think we don't know what triggers.
But we weren't at each other's throat like, cats and cat fighting. No, I mean, we're civil, but they're predatorial and...
when they're annoyed, they'll shout about it.
Lions, I think I've got to watch lions and such nature and see how they behave, because they're not far off from the same species. And
this is it. Now, there's some bits in here about anxiety as well, or I might give you some information under here as well. Okay, I just think that hopefully there's some information here on what to do. I think the main points for a cat that's having lower urinary tract disease, okay, is that you need to increase the water intake. Okay.
So he's hardly going to the water fountain to drink.
So you need to look at, is it in the right place? Okay. Can you change the place? That might help. Sometimes that can. You need to make sure you have...
Very difficult in my flat. It's very, very difficult that I don't walk out in one. I'll try and experiment with it in the hallway. See if it... Because at the moment it's in the kitchen, which is almost about the size of this room. And so it's near the fridge on the floor, and next to the fridge. It's regularly filled up. The only one I seem to notice going to it is Bear mostly. But once I first got it the first day, there was Magic was going to it, and it's kind of like, I think he's kind of worn off on it, going to it, sort of thing. I don't know why, but if I ran the tap, and because of the way it's shaped and the water, the water fountain I got, it's like a little flower, and so the water's coming up from, generated from the fish pump, and then it sort of comes out like flower petals and then drips down.
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure if he's not noticing it, or he doesn't care to notice it, or just wants it from the tap.
Will he drink from the tap?
Pardon me?
Will he drink from the tap?
Yes, absolutely. He will go up to it when he wants to. If I run the and if he's on the counter, he's walking up and down, and I'll run the tap, and then he might ignore it, and then sometimes he would go up to it, but sometimes he would ignore it.
Would he drink